Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's another bright Sunday from here in Kisumu. I don't know where you're watching this particular video from. It is my sincere hope that it's going to find you in good health. Raila Odinga will easily win the 2022 general election in this country. I want you to take that to the bank. Raila Odinga has contested for the presidency in this country more than any other individual. Raila Odinga first contested in 1997. During that time, he was just introducing himself to the people of Kenya after taking charge of his new political party, by that time NDP. In 2002, Raila Odinga did not contest. Instead, he took charge of Mwai Kibaki's campaign, and the presidency was delivered to Mwai Kibaki. In 2007, Raila Odinga then decided to contest for the presidency. And most Kenyans, almost all Kenyans, believe that Raila Odinga won that election, but he was rigged out. Of course, Raila Odinga won, but he was never declared the president of the Republic of Kenya. Then he tried his luck again in 2013. And Raila Odinga strongly believed that his victory was stolen through electronic voting. In 2017, he contested again. And during that election, Raila Odinga believes that his victory was stolen. And of course, he went to the courts, and the courts declared that election invalid. So Raila Odinga can only be compared to several other politicians in this country. There was the former Senegalese president who contested severally before becoming the president. I think the other one is the Nigerian president, and the guy who has just won in Zambia, who is referred to as perennial loser because he's consistently contested without succeeding. But Raila Odinga is going to win in 2022, and very easily. Why am I saying so? After the 2017 general election, most Kenyans believed that Raila Odinga was finished. Raila Odinga had sworn himself as the people's president. Then what next? Most Kenyans thought that the international community were going to run away from Raila Odinga. That did not happen. Then Raila Odinga surprised Kenyans by entering the handshake. Again, after entering the handshake, most Kenyans, especially Raila Odinga supporters, believed that the president was actually playing Raila Odinga. That what the president wanted was just that he wanted a situation where he was going to rule easily and smoothly without any distraction and disruption from the ODM supporters. And that he was creating an environment for the Deputy President William Samoei Ruto to find it easy to penetrate the former NASA's strongholds. In fact, when Ruto started going to the coastal region, most Kenyans, the Raila Odinga supporters, believed that it was because of the handshake. And even the leadership, members of parliament, governors, most of them believed that Raila Odinga was finished. People like Aisha Jumwa then decided to bolt out of ODM. People like Osoro decided not to associate with Raila Odinga. People like Jicho Pevu felt that Raila Odinga was no longer powerful. But as we speak today, Raila Odinga has reinvented himself. The president whom most people believed was going to betray Raila Odinga has actually endorsed Raila Odinga. But the question is, how is Raila Odinga going to win the 2022 general election? To answer that question, let me just also pose a question to you. Are elections in Kenya or Africa won through the ballot? Yes or no? Probably the answer is yes, and probably the answer is no. But largely, the elections in Africa are never won at the ballot. But I strongly believe that Raila Odinga will easily win the 2022 general election. Very easily because of the following. Number one is President Uhuru Kenyatta's endorsement. Most people strongly believe that President Uhuru Kenyatta is not going to influence the outcome of 2022 general election. I want to assure you, being a sitting president, the president is going to play a key role in determining who becomes the next president of the Republic of Kenya. And for Ruto and Uhuru, I don't know what transpired between them, but President Uhuru Kenyatta is not going to allow William Samoei Ruto to become the next president of the Republic of Kenya. Of course, Ruto can become the president, but it's not going to be easy for him. Uhuru is going to try to do everything to block him. And that's why he's also trying so hard to unite the NASA core principles. Uhuru Kenyatta's endorsement means several things. Four, let me just go very briefly. The first one is that more people are likely to join Raila Odinga. And for those who are keenly following the happenings at Orange House, Capitol Hills, and Opoda Farm, should have realized that the moment President Uhuru Kenyatta expressed that he was likely to endorse Raila Odinga, a lot more people have started drifting back to Raila Odinga, including some of his allies who initially dumped him. That endorsement will bring more people, especially people who don't want to stay away from power, closer to Raila Odinga. Most of them were still waiting to see whether the president is just going to be neutral, whether he's going to support his deputy, whether he was going to support someone else. But now that is declared, more people are going to join Raila Odinga. Number two, it means more funding. The mere fact that a sitting president, and I was reading an article on the Choela, the mere fact that the president, a sitting president, is supporting Raila Odinga, more people, more Kenyans, more businessmen are going to put their money in Raila Odinga's campaign. That's going to happen. We are going to see more tycoons because they are seeing a chance in Raila Odinga becoming the president. They're going to put more money in the campaigns. We are going to see international businessmen who have interest in Kenyan politics putting more money in Raila Odinga's campaign just because of Uhuru Kenyatta's endorsement. Uhuru Kenyatta himself is a billionaire. Uhuru Kenyatta is going to put money into Raila Odinga's campaign. His associates are going to put more money into Raila Odinga's campaign. Raila Odinga struggled because I was part of that campaign. Raila Odinga struggled during the last election with the campaign money. In fact, at some point, when some funds were expected, the government closed. So Uhuru Kenyatta's endorsement is helping him with more funds. And with more money, it means the campaign is going to run very smoothly. We are not going to hear of agents not being paid or podiums, people are stuck. The third thing under Uhuru Kenyatta's endorsement is the perceived deep state. The fact is that Raila Odinga has contested. In 2007, he won. But he was never declared the president. Why? Because there are certain people within the deep state who didn't want Raila Odinga to win. I've seen people talk of Zambia. People talk of even Kiamba. I mean, those by-elections in Kiamba really, they mean nothing. If anything, you can even claim that the 49% the Jubilee guy got is as a result of the deep state. But the mere fact that this time around, Uhuru is supporting Raila, and the deep state is now with him, even his supporters will now turn out in large numbers. And lastly, this Uhuru Kenyatta's endorsement is going to re-energize Raila Odinga's support base. I've been talking to people. I've been going to Bunge la Wananchi. The truth of the matter is that Raila Odinga supporters were tired, fatigued. They thought that there was nothing they would do to make Raila Odinga president. Most of them had started drifting towards William Ruto's camp. But with this endorsement, now the base is re-energized. They're going to do it once and for all. So President Uhuru Kenyatta's endorsement of Raila Odinga is one of the main reasons why Raila is going to win the presidency easily. Number two is the Mount Kenya factor. Raila Odinga has contested for the presidency severally. He has never received the support of the larger Mount Kenya region. It's not because of hate. I don't think the people of the larger Mount Kenya region hate Raila Odinga. But charity begins at home. In 1997, they had Mwai Kibaki, so they voted for Mwai Kibaki. In 2002, Raila Odinga supported Kibaki. What was the outcome? Raila Odinga became the darling of the people of the larger Mount Kenya region until the time he was betrayed and these people started thinking that he was going to take away the presidency. So if it's love, Raila Odinga has received it from the people of the larger Mount Kenya region. In 2007, now these people were out to protect their power against Raila Odinga. So the fact that they voted for Kibaki and not Raila Odinga cannot be attributed to anything. It was their need to protect their power. In 2013, now Uhuru Kenyatta came with the propaganda that the Kikuyus had stayed away from power for 24 years. They only received it for 10 years. But they could only count 1 year because the second one was a coalition government. So Uhuru Kenyatta wanted the Kikuyus to extend for another 10 years. And that's why the Kikuyus were easily rallied against Raila Odinga. Again in 2017, protecting the leadership from leaving the Mount Kenya region. During those times, Raila Odinga has never. So it means as we go to 2022 general election, Raila Odinga is going to that election without knowing so well, without the support of the larger Mount Kenya region. And he believes he has won the presidency without the support of the larger Mount Kenya region. But now that there will be no Mount Kenya leader, presidential candidate, now that the president himself is going to support him, and now that these people will have to make a choice, it means Raila Odinga now has a chance. So Mount Kenya factor is going to play several factors. Number one is Raila Odinga's past record. 0, he has never received support. So if he's going to get 20% or 30% from that region, hallelujah to him. If he's going to get 40, hallelujah to him. So that's the first thing. Number two, now he has a chance to compete. Because there's no one from the larger Mount Kenya region. He will be compared to Ruto. But just like Jeremiah Kioni was saying, that it was more difficult to sell Ruto in the larger Mount Kenya region than Raila Odinga because of the post-2002 and 2007 general election. So Raila Odinga now has a fighting chance. He can fight. Number three, the rigging which used to take place in the larger Mount Kenya region will be reduced. Why? You know, in this country, elections are rigged in very smart ways. The first way is normally inflation and deflation of votes. So in the larger Mount Kenya region, Raila Odinga never had agents. And because he never had agents, his figures were always deflated. They are reduced. If Raila Odinga gets 20, returned as 2. If Uhuru Kenyatta gets 460, will always be increased to maybe 600 or even 500. So Raila Odinga's figures in the larger Mount Kenya region has always been deflated, while Uhuru Kenyatta's figures were inflated. That will not happen because now Raila Odinga will have agents. Even if the deep state is with him, it means the deep state will also try to protect his votes. So that if Raila Odinga will get 100 votes in a place, that's what will count. If it's not that, then instead of 100, it will be 110 or 120. So rigging is going to reduce greatly in the larger Mount Kenya region. And also remember that there are normally dead voters turning up to vote. This time around, it will not happen in the larger Mount Kenya region. The turnout will be low. Those fake polling stations, which recorded turnouts, they will not be there. And as long as there will be no rigging in the larger Mount Kenya region, Raila Odinga will have a fighting chance. Because with rigging, Uhuru Kenyatta used to get some extra thousands, hundreds of thousands votes. And Raila Odinga losing also almost some hundreds, thousands. So that alone will solve the issue of rigging. And number 4 on that is the credible candidates. Because Raila Odinga is going to get support from President Uhuru Kenyatta, so many credible candidates, the governors, the MCAs, the MPs, the senators, the women rep, this time around are going to contest but identify or associate themselves with Raila Odinga's candidate. In the past, Raila Odinga would not get credible candidates. The advantage of some of these credible candidates is that when you go outside there, they are popular, they have people who will die with them. I've participated in politics. When, for example, Abdul Dubai in Kisumu was denied the ODM ticket, so many women, so many youths never turned up to vote. That's the reality. When Anyang' Nyong'o was given the ODM ticket, he ended up winning. But I know so many people like Joshua Nyamori who never voted because of that. So these candidates, this time around, will rally their supporters, and some of their supporters will vote for their candidate and vote for Raila Amolo Odinga. So Mount Kenya factor is the other reason why Raila Odinga will easily win the presidency in 2022. The third factor is post-2022 politics. Now let's face it, Raila Odinga is 76. If he's going to be successful next year, he'll be 77. If he's going to rule for 5 years, Raila Odinga will be 82. So it means people with the presidential ambitions will figure out, they will sit down, they calculate the age of Raila. They'll calculate the age of Ruto. And they'll calculate the age of the other candidates. And then they'll decide, if Raila Odinga wins today, who will be our main opponent? So most of them will figure out that it's better we support Raila Amolo Odinga for 5 years, to serve for 5 years. Then after 5 years, we can then come and campaign and compete against the rest. Uhuru Kenyatta has his game plan. Probably he wants Gideon Moi after Raila. Kalonzo Musyoka would still want to run for the presidency. The same as Musalia Mudavadi. Hassan Joho would want to run for the presidency. So many other people like Moses Koria, ultimately they'll figure out the best chance for them post 2022. Because 2022 is already decided. It's going to be a 2-horse race. Raila and Uhuru. And Raila and Ruto. So it's a done deal. So post 2022 is also going to work in favor of Raila Amolo Odinga. And that's why the NASA core principles and the One Kenya Alliance movement were not willing to support Raila Amolo Odinga, but they have now called for a meeting with Raila Amolo Odinga this week. Number 4 is the international support. You know, there's no way you can become the president of the Republic of Kenya without international connection. No way. Don't be cheated. Who are William Ruto's international friends? Harun Ayadin? The UK are watching closely. The mere fact that this criminal was tied to Ruto, they are following very closely. The US are following very closely, the international community. President Uhuru Kenyatta, in his own wisdom, decided to make Raila Amolo Odinga the higher representative, Africa Union higher representative on infrastructure. That was meant to achieve a political objective. What the president wanted to do, he wanted Raila Amolo Odinga to hold a position which was going to enable him interact very closely with the presidents in Africa and internationally. So in Africa, because of that position, whenever there was an event, a presidential event, bringing together all Africa Union head of states, Raila Amolo would always attend as a guest. I remember sometimes in Ethiopia, he was sitting with the heads of state, exchanging notes. Now, these are the people who will always be the first ones to support anybody if they become the leader, if they become winners. In the last election, you saw how African Union came to the aid of President Uhuru Kenyatta. In South Africa, you saw how SADC came to the aid of Ramaphosa. So international support. And of course, if you look at Ruto, does he have any international support? Apart from Museveni, and of course he has lost the Sudan. Where else can you try to link him? Maybe in Tanzania, but I don't think Tanzania will have a lot of influence. And number 5, why Raila Odinga is going to become the next president easily, is resource mobilization. And just like I said, it's normally very, very difficult and very expensive to run a presidential campaign. The fact that Raila Odinga has contested 3 serious presidential campaigns, that is 2007, 2007, 2013 and 2017, means it's a serious guy. If he were someone else, I know friends of mine who went into politics, lost, they've never recovered up to now. Raila Odinga will be able to raise money. The deep state, like today, if Raila Odinga is going to a place, just be keen, you'll realize probably anytime he arrives, already there is a police escort. You know, initially he would use his own money to pay the police, you know, to pay the men in black, you know, to do this. Yeah. Nowadays, even some of his events, like if he goes to Central Kenya, some of his events are organized by the state, by the deep state. So we'll easily get a lot of support, both internally and externally. And people who are planning to invest in this country will put their resources on Raila Odinga. I don't know what you think, but that's my take. I could be right, I could be wrong. Let me hear your thoughts on this matter. I know it's not going to be easy for Raila Odinga. William Ruto is smart. He's been figuring out and trying to fix every other thing. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.